Thank you. So this project was partnered with Ohio State University, Dr. Mark Schultz, Dr. Dave Barker, and also North Carolina State, Dr. Miguel Castillo. I'm going to be presenting just the Tennessee data. It wouldn't be enough time to present everything. So, but we are looking at nutritive value and forage accumulation of alfalfa and alfalfa mixtures as influenced by forage management. So our main idea was we compared to Ohio State. They produce a lot of alfalfa. They are one of the pioneers in that. But for the South, we needed an increase in alfalfa production. If you ask many people, in many producers in Tennessee, North Carolina, Kentucky, and all in the southeastern United States, many producers are going to tell you that alfalfa doesn't grow in the South. So we wanted to find ways to prove them wrong, and also find ways that we could increase their production. So if you the main species to work in the southeastern United States is tall fescue and Bermuda grass, especially tall fescue. So we thought, okay, maybe we can compare management of a percent of alfalfa with those mixtures, alfalfa, tall fescue, and Bermuda grass. So our main objective was to evaluate accumulation and nutritive value of alfalfa in those mixtures, looking at different harvest intervals, and also hypothesizing that adjusting those harvesting intervals, we could optimize the relationship between production and nutritive value. So for our treatments, we had 4 harvesting intervals, so harvesting every 21, 28, 35, and 42 days. 3 species combination, a percent of alfalfa, and alfalfa with tall fescue, alfalfa Bermuda grass. So we had a total of 12 treatments. And this is, on the left-hand side, we have our, I think I missed the headline, but we have here lignin concentration by species, NDF concentration by species, and crude protein by species as well. And on the right-hand side is by treatment. So we also decided to separate this spring and summer, since we were using a cool season grass versus a warm season grass. So it was important to look at differences versus spring and summer. What we noticed is that for nutritive value, most of those differences are going to occur in the spring. So we had a little bit of difference, especially for NDF. We had differences where alfalfa fescue was higher NDF compared to alfalfa pure standard, which was expected. But for looking at just the alfalfa versus those 2 mixtures with grasses, we didn't see a whole lot of differences in lignin concentration and crude protein. And in the summer, those differences was still even smaller, which was surprising. And for looking at treatment differences, among all those species, we also noticed that most of the difference we are going to find in the spring, independently of the species that we are working with, and in the summer, especially for crude protein, those differences disappear. So we need to really concentrate in managing those harvesting intervals, those management types, mostly in the spring, not as much in the summer. Summer, we should probably focus more on production. Here, forage mass, I'm not going to have a whole lot of time, but just to look at forage mass also in the spring and summer. Again, basically what I'm saying that as expected, the longest we wait to harvest, we are going to produce more. But in the summer, we also have a very consistent nutritive value, so that waiting a little longer to harvest would be important for those mixtures. And very briefly in conclusion, decisions based on species and harvesting intervals are mostly important during spring. Nutritive value does not change when mixing alfalfa with a cool or warm season grasses. And as summer approaches, the advanced maturity does not impact crude protein content. And adjusting those harvesting intervals during spring can increase forage mass production, especially in cool season forages. Okay, I think my time is up.